A very warm welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Hari.
And I'm Kimi. Today we tackle a massive topic that is completely invisible to our eyes, which shapes our entire world, the virus.
That's right, Kimi. The word virus actually comes from a Latin word meaning poison or other noxious liquids, sharing an ancient Indo-European root with Sanskrit and ancient Greek words for poison. But today, we know them not just as toxins, but as the most abundant biological entities on our planet, found in almost every ecosystem.
It's incredible how ubiquitous they are. Despite millions of viral species existing, we have only described about 16,000 in detail since Dmitry Ivanovsky's 1892 article describing a non-bacterial tobacco pathogen and Martinus Beiring's subsequent discovery of the tobacco mosaic virus in 1898. The study of these fascinating entities is what we call virology, a specialized subspecialty of microbiology.
Exactly. Now, when a virus is outside a host cell, it exists as an independent particle called a virion. These virions consist of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, wrapped in a protective protein coat called a capsid, which is made of subunits called capsomeres. Some viruses also have an outer lipid envelope derived from the host cell's own membrane, which they stud with their own proteins.
And their shapes or morphologies are beautifully diverse, Hari. They range from simple helical rods to near spherical icosahedrons. There are even elongated prolate structures, common in bacteriophages, and complex structures like the enterobacteriophage T4, which has an icosahedral head and a helical tail that acts like a molecular syringe to inject its genome directly into a bacterial cell.
Yes, and most are incredibly tiny, about 1/100th the size of most bacteria. But giant viruses like the Mimivirus and Pandoravirus defy this entirely. The Pandoravirus has a massive double-stranded DNA genome of around 2 megabases, coding for 2,500 proteins. In contrast, the tiny single-stranded DNA circovirus has a genome of only 2 kilobases and codes for just 2 proteins.
That's a massive difference. This genetic diversity actually plays into the ongoing debate. Are viruses alive? They have genes, reproduce, and evolve through natural selection, but they lack cellular structure and have no independent metabolism. Some biologists call them organisms at the edge of life. I also find the virocell model proposed by Patrick Forterer fascinating. It suggests the infected host cell is the living form, while the virion is just a spore.
It really reframes the debate. And because they don't form fossils, tracing their evolutionary origins is tricky. Virologists use molecular techniques to study 3 main hypotheses: the regressive hypothesis, where they evolved from small cells that lost genes; the escape hypothesis, where they arose from mobile genetic elements like plasmids or jumping genes called transposons; and the coevolution hypothesis, suggesting they evolved from complex molecules alongside the first cells.
It is highly likely they arose multiple times, but wherever they came from, they have a massive impact on global ecology, especially in aquatic environments. Did you know that a single teaspoon of seawater contains about 10 million viruses? Most are bacteriophages that infect marine bacteria, killing about 20% of the ocean's microbial biomass every single day.
That is a staggering number, Kimi. But it drives the viral shunt, which recycles vital carbon and nutrients, stimulating new plankton growth. And in 2022, scientists even observed virotherapy, where a freshwater ciliate called Halteria actually consumes chloroviruses as a primary food source, so they are even part of the food chain.
That is a fascinating shift in how we view them. But, of course, they also cause serious disease. We've seen devastating epidemics like the 1918 influenza pandemic, which killed up to 100 million people. Then there's the ongoing HIV pandemic, and more recently, SARS-CoV-2 causing the COVID-19 pandemic. Some viruses can also lead to chronic infections like hepatitis B and C, which can eventually cause liver cancer.
Yes, oncoviruses are a serious concern, including HPV, Epstein-Barr virus, and Kaposi sarcoma-associated herpes virus. Our bodies have evolved sophisticated defenses to fight them. Our innate immune system uses RNA interference, where a protein called dicer chops up viral double-stranded RNA. However, some viruses like rotaviruses evade this by keeping their genomic RNA protected inside their inner capsid during replication.
That's a brilliant adaptation. For vertebrates, we also have adaptive immunity, where killer T cells destroy infected cells and plasma cells produce antibodies. These antibodies can neutralize viruses directly, and inside cells, a protein called TRIM21 can bind to antibodies on the virus, priming it for destruction by the cell's proteasome system.
To prevent these infections, vaccines are a best tool, ranging from live attenuated viruses to subunit vaccines that are safe for immunocompromised people. And for treatment, we have about 100 antiviral drugs. Many, like acyclovir for herpes, are nucleoside analogs. They act as fake DNA building blocks, halting the virus's replication through DNA chain termination. We're also leveraging viruses for medicine. In virotherapy, genetically modified oncolytic viruses like TVEC are engineered to replicate in and destroy cancer cells while leaving healthy cells alone. TVEC is a modified herpes simplex virus that stimulates the immune system using a human gene, and it was approved for treating melanoma in late 2015.
In materials science, they are treated as highly versatile organic nanoparticles. Because their structures are so incredibly precise, researchers use the cowpea mosaic virus as templates, or nanoscale breadboards for molecular electronics, advanced sensors, and other devices.
It's amazing how we can even synthesize them from scratch, like polio in 2002, raising bioweapons concerns. That's why repositories of pathogens like smallpox are so heavily secured.
It really highlights the fascinating dual nature of our complex relationship with these tiny replicators. Thank you so much for joining us here today, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this journey. Until next time, stay curious and stay healthy.
This episode is based on the Wikipedia article Virus, which is available under the Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike license. This podcast was crafted using artificial intelligence.